I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Scott.
And we are
the Gallivanting Gamerz! And today we are going to be talking about the relatively new game, Beyond Blue.
Yeah, not Deep Blue.
Beyond Blue.
It's hard to remember exactly.
Yeah, I was calling it Deep Blue, and it's actually called Beyond Blue.
Yeah, he had to check it just now.
Absolutely.
See, we talk about new games sometimes.
Every now and then. This is a newer one for us. It's not retro, but it's really we felt like it was important enough to talk about. It's definitely one that I'm assuming that's going to be really overlooked, but it's literally sort of a scuba diving game.
It's like a scuba diving simulator type thing.
But it's hyper realistic as far as like there's no fantasy elements. It is straight up diving, and that's it.
Yeah, it was kind of exciting for me because that was actually like something really specific that I was looking for. So I was like, I really want a video game that is like scuba diving because I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that in real life. So I'd like to do it virtually. And I looked
Same.
at a couple. We looked at Abzu, but it was like pretty to look at, but I wanted something where I felt like I was also gonna that actually looked like the real ocean, that maybe I could learn a little bit. And then Beyond Blue came and kind of answered my prayers.
Yes, Abzu, and then there was that other one, something with a S, I believe. I forget what the name is, but there's a couple games there that are more fantasy. Subnautica, yes. Those are a little bit more fantasy related. The creatures in there aren't based off of real creatures, and they have more of a surreal look to them. They're beautiful games. They're amazing, but for this specific vibe that we were going for this night, Beyond Blue is great.
In like an alternate reality, I imagine myself being like a marine biologist and doing these really daring things. So it's cool to be able to kind of do it.
Absolutely. So Beyond Blue, it's it has a little bit of a story to it. You're this girl that's a diver. She has her own friends and family related that she keeps in contact with while she's manning a sort of a submarine deal by herself, which in this vessel shows the unlockables in the game and whatnot. Go ahead.
Oh. And the story kind of grew on me. Like at first I was very specific. I was like, I just want to scuba dive. I don't want a story. I just want. But as you go on, she has her teammates that she talks to through the earpiece or whatever, and her sister that she calls from the little home base submarine she has.
Her coworkers and her teachers, mentors types.
And at first, like I said, I was kind of annoyed. Like, I just want to look at fish. But you realize that it kind of helps paint this picture of what being this marine biologist explorer is like. What it, the cost of being away from your family for months on end, the solitude of being in the middle of the ocean all by yourself. So it actually added layers to it that ended up really, I think it was really good.
Another thing I think it addresses with that, also with the unlockables, is first off, there were a few characters in the game that seemed like they were based off of some of the people that were providing with the documentaries.
Yeah, so that's probably something that we should explain as well. So the basic mechanic of this game is you're going on these missions, essentially. You explore different parts of the ocean, like a reef.
Track certain fish, figure out their behaviors, fish, whales.
She loves whales.
Yep.
I love whales. She loves whales. I love her.
Different locations. That's what I like is the level system actually really impressed me. When I say level system, I mean the different stages that you go to, because they do include deep sea diving in there and trench diving, which is something that's really hard for anyone to really get to. And the fact that they showed what the characters go through in real life to get data from really deep sea fishes and anglerfishes. And,
there's even trash, just to remind you, that's the impact.
And that's the other thing I was going to allude to is this. It's a very environmentally conscious game. Like I said, not only does the impact of the story paint a picture of what it's like to leave your friends and family for this mission, but it also paints a picture of what's happening that we're not even seeing, the environmental hazards of pollution and trash and stuff being left in the ocean,
and like deep sea mining and how that's affecting like whales.
Yep.
There goes his mic.
Yep.
And then each of these missions that you go on, after that you go back to your home base where you've unlocked things like more music to listen to. You can look up close at the creatures that you've scanned, and then
it tells you about their behaviors and things about them, little statistics.
Yeah, kind of like and what we really enjoyed is after each mission you get a new mini documentary, like an actual documentary about like exploring the ocean and ocean conservation, and you learn things.
It's really cool. It's really fascinating, and it tells you about what they go through, and they're usually related to the mission that the character just did. It's a little bit different, but it kind of reminds me of how in Ninja Gaiden you're rewarded with the cut scenes after you complete each level. Well, this you're rewarded with the documentary and the sort of the making of the game and the explanation of what was going through their heads while they were making the game. And it's very environmentally conscious. Obviously, they have lots to say about things like climate change and whatnot.
You can tell that this was a passion project. These are people that really care about the ocean and the planet. And each mini documentary is just a few minutes, so it's just enough that you're like, oh.
Yeah, generally 2 to 3 minutes per video. So it's, it actually is like, when you get into sort of that edutainment, I know it has sort of a bad, rap on educational games and like them having not been good throughout the decades, but I think this is one of the first games I really enjoyed what I was learning while playing the game.
Yeah, I think we played the whole thing like in a Friday night, and we were just like, ooh, we got another documentary.
Yeah, no, it was really fun, and like there was one character there that I love how emotional that the characters get, because there's one of the characters that she's communicating with has a deep love for these a particular type of like sea turtle, I guess. And in one of the documentaries, they showed a character that this guy was clearly based off of, that was helping restore like the population of these turtles and trying to save them as a species. And it's really heartwarming, and it's really a fun video game to play.
Also, like fairly emotional.
Oh, it's very emotional. It's a bit of a tearjerker, really.
It's inspiring. Like she's following the specific family of whales that she has become really bonded to, and she sees what they go through and watches them. They have a baby. It's really cool. I wouldn't mind if they made like a sequel and we got to go a little further on her journey.
If I'm not mistaken, I think some of the in game, some of the fish are sick or dying or even suffering at fault of the pollution in the game too. So you think it sounds heavy-handed, but how it unfolds in the game is it really does its job. It makes a lot of sense, and it makes you concerned.
It reminds me of like watching like a documentary at IMAX or something, and you get to be part of it. So I think that's really cool, and maybe that they should use that kind of stuff more in like even school. But we liked learning. It's really pretty.
Yeah, the models they use for the whales, sharks, and fish and sea life are really spot on. They're really good. And one other detail about the game that I was really pleased with was how they thoroughly, in documentaries and in game, they thoroughly defined and explained whale song and whale clicking as their method of communication, and basically how it's its own language. And considering the size of brains of these whales and whatnot, they have their own societies, really. Like, if these creatures had posable thumbs and whatnot like us, they would be like us. It's really, I mean, it's
so smart.
It's so, people underestimate that technically dolphins and whatnot think on frequencies that are not available to humans, and in some ways are smarter than humans based off of how the brain processes data.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fact that they got into those details. I thought was really fascinating.
Yeah, it was really exciting for me. I'll probably show this someday, but when I was in like kindergarten, I was obsessed with whales. I had books about whales, and I wanted to watch things about whales, learn everything I could. And we had to write books, and people like wrote stories. I wrote a book like facts about whales, and I left blank pages so someday when I go whale watching, I can put in real photographs of the whales.
That's awesome.
So that was kind of cool for me with this game to be able to like swim up close to a whale and like look at it and catalog the clicking and the songs, and it was really cool. It was exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those games that I never knew I needed.
Right? It's one of those ones like that. I mean, this is kind of I think why we want to talk about it. It's one of those ones that you could easily pass up and be like, okay.
Yeah. Amidst the thousands of downloadable options that are in the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 store, and this game didn't stand out to me. I saw Deep Blue. I don't think it wasn't marketed that good. It's not a game that calls to me, but because of our specific interest with sea life and wanting to look that up, that's the only reason we downloaded it. We were actually seeking out a game that was a good representation of diving, and we found it.
I haven't even finished Abzu, but we definitely finished Beyond Blue in like one night.
Yeah, so it's it's definitely one that's very easy to pass up. I don't know how popular the game is. I don't know how well it's sold, but I can't imagine that it's. I feel like it's completely underrated, and more people should check it out. I know one thing that you like about this game is that this is counterintuitive to most games, but there's no violence, no killing.
I like. You're gonna find this out about me. I like games where I can just chill.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to 3D games, honestly. So I had Scott do most of the playing, but I enjoyed just watching it and being like, okay, let's go over there now, or can we go in that cave? Let's swim close to the whale, and it was just really neat.
Yeah. No, the action that would replace something like a shooting mechanic or whatnot is aiming your gun to scan data on the enemies.
It's not a gun.
It's not a gun.
Your device.
Aiming whatever your device is to scan the data.
You're cataloging the creatures and their sounds.
Yeah. So and that's kind of a unique experience is to play a game that's not about killing. I mean, I know that as part of the fun of video games, you can have those games where you can slash people up, shoot people up, and do all this, crazy stuff all the time. Storm a castle, kill demons, whatever it is. But this is a game that it's kind of refreshing. It's interesting.
It's kind of like anti-killing. They're like,
yeah,
we gotta save the planet, and it kind of gets your juice up. Like, yes, we gotta save the planet.
Yeah.
So even if I almost want to just make everybody play this game just so you can like learn to.
Well,
care about something.
That's a whole new level there. But I hear you. It's definitely an interesting experience to play a game where the focal point, the game loop isn't about destruction, but it's more about regeneration. So that is Beyond Blue. Definitely a good game. I definitely recommend that you guys play it if you get the opportunity. It's an easy game to play, and you definitely would learn a lot with it. Other than that, so in the spirit of non-violence,
we're not gonna tell you to whip the
you look so depressed when you say it that way. What could we say? Scan like button.
High five that like button. Connect with the like button.
Well, it's like clicking. So click that like button, click the subscribe button, Click the subscribe, click the bell, and leave comments if you like this kind of video.
It's all you to subscribe.
And other than that, see you in the next video.
See? Like the sea?
See you in the next video.
For losers.